Happy Tuesday and welcome to, barring some kind of crazy mishap, the last car drive of August of 2023. And it's also the last Tuesday of 2023. A lot of lasts today. Right, before I get to my drive, you know that feeling you get when you have to sneeze and then you don't? That literally just happened just now. But I'm good. Let's ride. So let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Straight up, my low is very simple. It rained. It rained a lot yesterday. Like, it got so bad yesterday in terms of rain. One area, the area between Horseheads and Ithaca actually got flooded. So it's pretty, got pretty bad. Probably still flooded after, come on, it's not going to recover in the span of one night, right? So, that happened. Let's see. My high is I got to spend the evening with my folks, and as well as my mom made chicken pot pie, which, man, I gotta tell you, that chicken pot pie was fire. I'll talk about that in a second. And my acts of kindness were, I did an errand for my grandma, emptied the dehumidifier for my dad, set the table for dinner. Yeah, I did several kind of things yesterday. So, okay, before I get into what I really want to talk about, you know that feeling you get when you walk into your folks' place expecting a good meal, and then you smell like what your mom is cooking in the oven, and then you'd be like, oh, no, she didn't. And then, like, you actually walk over to the oven, turn on the oven light, and you'd be like, oh, snap. That's what happened. That was totally me. Seriously, like, straight up, I don't think I've had my mom's chicken pot pie since probably February, if that. It's been a while. And, you know, it's not like, it doesn't actually look like a real pie per se. Really, it's more like a, sorry, the flying around, excuse me. It's not like it's in the form of like an actual like circular pie and a little pie dish and stuff like that. Really, my mom just takes like a good casserole dish, puts like a sheet of the crust on the bottom, then she puts all the the vegetables and stuff on top, and then puts the vegetables and chicken, obviously. Puts the other crust on top, puts in the oven, and just does that. So we actually have enough for extras. I mean, granted, as much as I do like having, stuff like chicken pot pie, and actually I shouldn't say that, I do like having leftovers every now and again, so chances are when I visit my folks tonight, leftovers are what's going to be on the menu, which is fine. I've got no problem with that. I just think here's the thing though, like, if my mom makes chicken pot pie, there's nothing else that we have. I mean, we don't even get like a salad, something cool to offset like the very hot chicken pot pie. Seriously, like, my mom took the chicken pot pie out of the oven with like over an hour before we had dinner. And, she covered it with foil, obviously, but it was still really hot. Like, here's the thing. Really, it was the potatoes in the chicken pot pie that were really hot. Sorry. There's a fly, like hovering around me. It's gonna get annoying. Excuse me. I had to stop a stoplight. But yeah, chicken pot pie was awesome. And, well, should I keep this a surprise? I really want to keep this a surprise, because I really was going back and forth about, like, for honestly I want to say a couple of months. But, oh, sorry. Darn it. I am not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Kids, do not try what I'm doing at home. Technically, you wouldn't be at home doing this, but don't do what I'm doing. That's going to be on camera for everybody to see. Oh, boy. Okay. So, I really had to weigh out the pros and cons for this. Because, I really want to... Darn it. I'm trying to get a fly in front of me. I grabbed it, but it flew out of my hand. Darn it. Okay. So... no, I'm going to keep this under wraps. I'm definitely going to keep this under wraps for a little bit. By the way, don't mind the shirt behind me. It's actually for something I'm going to be doing a little bit later in this week. So it's just in my car, and I got to take it somewhere, is all. So right now, that's the plan. Take this shirt to the destination I'm going to send it to. Okay, well, full disclosure, I do have an outfit that I'm going to be wearing for dinner when we go to Libs on Wednesday, which I need to fix the reservation. I'll talk about that in a second. And basically, I have a nice white collared shirt with some jeans, but my mom suggested that it might be a little too cold to wear a short sleeve shirt anymore. That's what the shirt's behind me for. I want to show her that shirt, and then, dare to compare. It should be fine, though. Hey, listen, I know I can rock any style, but it never hurts to get a second opinion. Especially from someone who actually knows how clothes work. Like your mom, for instance. Let's see. Right, the reservation. Darn it. I want to grab that fly out of the air so it stops hovering around me. But, where was I? Right, the reservation. So, actually, did I talk about this already? Sorry, you do this long enough, you tend to sort of fall in and out of what you remember talking about. But, I made the reservation for 6 o'clock tomorrow at Libs. And at some point today, because Libs is open today, they weren't open on Sunday and Monday. They're open today. So at some point today, I have to call and try and fix the reservation. Hopefully I'll be able to do that today. Problem is, like last time I tried calling on a Tuesday, they were closed. Of course, that was before summer began. So maybe it should be better today. Because for all intents and purposes, we're still in summer. Yeah, I'm wearing a jacket at the moment. Yeah, it rained heavily yesterday. We're still in summer though, guys. Relax. It's getting colder, but like not unbearably cold. It's a brisk sort of 58 at night. So, yeah, it'd be a good time to break out a hoodie. But it's not so bad where it completely ruins a person's day. So, yeah. Again. Oh, actually, I gotta talk about Undisputed coming back. So, Undisputed came back yesterday. And here's the thing. I know Skip Bayless is really hyping up about the fact that he's got like his dream team of sports analysts to, join him, on TV. You got Richard Sherman, Keyshawn Johnson, Michael Irvin, Lil Wayne was there, which, I mean, come on guys, Lil Wayne. He's awesome. But I thought it was going to be like all four guys on TV at once. It looked to me like a bunch of the clips I saw was like, first it showed Skip Bayless introducing everybody, and all four guys are on TV. Then it went to like like Skip Bayless and somebody else. I think maybe they did that yesterday just to, get a few, just to sort of test the water. I mean, again, every beginning of a show is not perfect. No matter what anyone says. Years from now you look back on, how the opening of this show was the greatest beginning of a show ever, and stuff like that. But more often than not, it'll be a while before this new version of Undisputed gets its footing. It'll take time, for sure. But one thing I really do like about the show is the opening. Don't get me wrong, No Mercy by Lil Wayne was awesome. But Good Morning, I love how it did borrow a little bit from No Mercy, but at the end of the day, it really was its own thing. That's just how it is. Speaking of doing their own thing, I've been meaning to talk about this for a little bit now, but at this point, I'm pretty sure everybody knows Bob Barker passed away. For those of you who are too young to know who Bob Barker is, he was a game show host who first got his start on hosting the show Truth or Consequences. But he later became most known for being the host of The Price is Right. So, I'm with my mom yesterday, and she's watching, Entertainment Tonight talk about Bob Barker. And honestly, I gotta say, I couldn't watch it because it was just too sad. I mean, everyone's saying, Bob Barker got us close to 100 without going over. I'm like, yeah, I get the Price is Right reference, guys, but come on. An icon just died. Here's the thing, it's not like I was overly attached about, I barely ever watched The Price is Right. It's just, even if you never watched The Price is Right, you knew who Bob Barker was. Partly because, again, his name is alliteration, and alliteration is awesome. But at the end of the day, I mean, a great man passed away. A great man that, a lot of people saw on TV, or even if you never saw him on TV, you at least heard of his name. So, yeah, it is it's sad. It is. Not to mention, this is the second time in 2 years where we have a celebrity who's really close to making it to 100 years old, and they die with less than a year before they get there. First it happened to Betty White, and now Bob Barker. I mean, don't get me wrong. Listen, everyone dies every day. People die every day. Not everyone dies every day. I should say that. Unless you want to count dying inside, I suppose. But it really does show that no one is ever going to live forever. And no matter how old someone is, of course death is, a sad part of life. It's a natural part of life, though, and we all know that. It's just, I guess it's hard to accept as all. That's why for the longest time ever, I was terrified of death. I mean, by all accounts, I still am, but I was horribly afraid of death when I was a little kid. Holy cow. Seriously, I was so afraid of death when I was a little kid. If a cemetery was nearby, I wouldn't even look at it. Driving by a cemetery, oh look, a cemetery, the one place I never ever want to see. And it's true. You never want to see a cemetery, especially if you're afraid of death. Whew. Sorry. So it is nice to see people talking about Bob Barker, though. It is. I'm glad that he touched so many lives. I'm glad that, you know, he has a legacy that is going to stand the test of time. I mean, I like that Entertainment Tonight segment I was watching about him. He won 19 Emmys for being a game show host. That's the most by anyone ever. That's not just impressive. That's incredible. Like, that is a record that will easily stand the test of time. Probably forever. But we'll just have to see about that. I mean, right. I'm talking about Bob Barker. I didn't even get into the whole doing his own thing part. Well, naturally, when Bob Barker retired, someone had to be his replacement on The Price is Right. And enter Drew Carey. Now, before I get into anything any further, I want to point out, I like Drew Carey. Drew Carey's a cool guy. But I will never forget that when Drew Carey started hosting The Price is Right, everybody hated him. Like, everybody hated him. Like, people were going out of their way saying, watch The Price is Right, but watch the old stuff. Don't watch the new stuff with Drew Carey. Like, come on, guys. That's not fair. You know, it's true that you never want to be the guy who comes after who could be arguably known as the greatest of all time. But come on, guys. You know, did you forget that Drew Carey is actually a really cool guy and he's funny? And and this is what Bob Barker said in the Entertainment Tonight segment. Because obviously, you know, Drew Carey had to meet with Bob Barker, you know, talk about what he's going to do as being the host of Price is Right. And Bob Barker told him, don't do what I did. Don't try and imitate me. Don't do anything I did. You do your own thing. And that's what Drew Carey did. That's all he did. And whether everyone realizes it or not, doing his own thing, that's the best possible move Drew Carey could have made. Because of course he's not going to imitate Bob Barker. No one's ever going to imitate Bob Barker. Just like Mayim Bialik or Ken Jennings are never going to replace Alex Trebek. Or Ryan Seacrest is going to replace Pat Sajak as the host of Wheel of Fortune. It's true, you know, our game show hosts, they're getting old. And very clearly none of them are going to live forever. But just because, you know, we grew up with these people and someone else takes their place, that's not a bad thing, guys. I think we can be a little bit flexible. So, yeah. I mean, listen, full disclosure, one day, possibly, you know, I may no longer do videos anymore. I plan on doing videos for many years to come. The day I die, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be sad. I hope a lot of people are sad. You know, kind of want to think I left a decent legacy, right? I'm sure someone's going to come along to try and do what I'm doing right now. And everyone's going to think, oh, that person's not Nick Cutler. They can't possibly be Nick Cutler. Don't ever expect anyone to be me, okay? There's only one me. No one is ever going to imitate me. But just because they do what I do, don't judge them for it. Let them be them. Let them do what I'm doing, but in their own way. It's not a bad thing at all. In fact, it's actually, you can look, seriously, kids, take this as a lesson. It's true. Lots of the greatest things in life can never be duplicated. But it's not a bad thing if they're being imitated. Especially when, you know, they're doing it with the utmost respect and dignity. And that's what Drew Carey's been doing, being host of The Price is Right. So, yeah. You know, that's a lesson. Don't ever judge anyone by, don't judge a book by the cover, I guess. That's, I mean, yeah, I know it's a lesson that we've all learned since kindergarten, but it is kind of, but there's a reason why people need to know that still even today, because we find ourselves needing to know that today. So, yeah. I guess the death of Bob Barker really gave me some perspective. And I'm glad I got to share it with you all today. I'm very humble I made this video for all of you guys watching. Enjoy, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble I made this video for all of you guys watching. Enjoy for today, and hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk, the channel is going to be here to let you know as we're back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.